Hello, I'm Lawrence and this is my house. It's a detached house that was built in the early 1970s, and I've decided I want to do the right thing, make my house net zero carbon. And I've introduced a few measures in the house and I'll list them through. The first is photovoltaics on the roof, and I've put a 7 kilowatt array on the roof. I've put a heat pump in and got rid of gas in the house. I've put some smart controllers for the heating, a thermal store for the hot water, and finally I have an electric car that is a vehicle to home electric car, so I can supply my house from the energy stored in the car. So I've installed a air to water heat pump, and this is done so I can get rid of gas in the house. Now the air to water heat pump does both my heating and heats up the radiators in the house, and also provides hot water to the hot water tank. Now the heat pump I put here because of acoustic reasons, because it's away from a neighbour's openable window, and when you locate it you do need to be careful about where it is to a neighbour's or your windows, because they do make noise. Now I haven't done particularly well here. I've had some problems. You can see that it's mounted on the wall, and what's happened is that the heat pump does generate some vibrations, and that's gone into the house. I've put in some anti-vibration mounts to try and dampen that, but if you can avoid it in the first place, try to get it mounted on the ground and away from yours and neighbours' windows. So I have an electric car for about 5 years now, and the benefit of this electric car was one of the first cars that could both put out electricity in, and also you can take electricity out. And I have here a Vehicletogrid charger here. And this charger here was one of the first few that were available. It is a bit big, and because it's still an experimental device, but has become a lot more mature now. So this allows me, and I will just show you, to plug in like you normally would to charge an electric car. But this does something slightly different. It will charge the car from my solar panels, and also if there isn't sun, it will take the energy from the car and play it back to the house. And what that does is it means when electricity is expensive or high in carbon, you can stop using grid electricity and use your stored cheap low carbon energy that's generated on your house. So one of the really valuable things I was able to do, and didn't cost too much, was to install a whole house smart heating system. The system I have is a Tado system, and this allows me to control each one of the rooms using a smart thermostat to the temperature that I want. Things it does is look at the weather ahead and then predict whether it's going to be cold or sunny, and understand whether your house warms up quickly or not. It allows you to control things, each room individually. I found that the choice of which to do first was quite a difficult one, but I worked with the things I wanted to do in the house. Is that things like installing the heat pump was going to be the most disruptive, and in fact it caused the biggest problems for us. Changing all the radiators, putting in a big storage tank, and of course putting a big fairly noisy box on the outside of the house is one that you have to plan in with what you want to do in the rest of the house. So I tried to take advantage of the funding that I had, and I tried to make the right economic decision for each of the technologies I put in. The first ones were easy ones. Paying for installation and saving energy that way was an easy win and a logical one to do, and relatively low cost. Then I did the smart heating system. Again, low cost, easy wins. The bigger ones were more of a challenge. The solar panels, I knew at the time when I had some other work going on, putting the solar panels on was the right thing to do. And you can see immediate effect with those. The hardest one was the heat pump. I was lucky enough to take advantage of the RHI, which allowed me to get about 60 or 70% of the funding back over the next 7 years. Everybody has to look at their own home in a case-by-case basis. If your boiler's coming to the end of its life, think long and hard, get quotes, do your research to make a decision on whether it's the right thing to do at the time. Speak to other people, go online, use the brilliant YouTube advice that is available out there to make the right decision for you.